In this screencast, I want to introduce you to Passport and show you how you're going to be able to use Passport to accomplish all the badge work that you need to do. And to do that, I think I'll actually show you one of the badges, the basic tool badge, and how you would work through that very first badge. All right, so once you've been invited to a group within Passport, and even if you've never used it before, you can go to this web address, www.openpassport.org. All right, if you can go to that website, this should come up. All right, and this is just the login page, and then use your Purdue login ID by clicking on this big button over here that says Purdue University. So once you click onto that, it should take you into the group that you've been assigned to, or at least to a registration area, so that you do that and then you get put in. But it should be very, very straightforward. So once you get to this page, just click on that, and then it'll probably ask you to log in with your Purdue ID. Well, it actually will, with your Passport. And then it'll take you directly to your group. Your group will look something like this that shows up once you get into Passport. Over on this side, you'll have the group menu, which is home, and the number of badges. You won't just have one badge sitting here. You'll probably be a number of badges, your scorecard, and members. You do not have this information right down here on Instructors Tools. Or over here on the badges, you won't have this little gear thing. But other than that, it'll look exactly like this page. And you'll have all the badges that are within your group. You'll have your group title right up here, which will be different than what this is, since I just put this in as a trial. All right, so and then all of your badges will be listed down here. So how do you actually use Passport? Well, you log in just like what we've done right here, and then you go into the badge that you want to work on, and you have your badges listed. And so you say, okay, well, let's go ahead and work on this basic course tools badge, and you click on that badge, and this will come up. This is kind of the title page, the opening page. And it's got the basic tool badge or basic course tools badge name, whatever. The title is up there at the top. Over here on the side, you'll see what the logo or the graphic that goes with it. All right, the actual badge itself is that picture right there, and who issued it, the organization, and who it was created by, and then any learning outcomes that are associated with this badge. And then I usually generally give you some type of background information, what it goes with. This badge is the typical one that we work with in the EDCI 560 course, and so we've tagged on that number. But it also can be used for other students in other means if they just want this information on these basic tools. These badges will, and I'll put that explanation in there. Then down here you'll see challenges, and these are the four assignments that you need to do to show that you have this competency to be awarded this badge. So you have to complete these things in order to get this, to receive this badge. And these are each different level of things to do. Every badge that you work on has at least one level. There may be 1, 2, 3, or whatever, up to 8 or 10, or whatever we have decided to have in there. And those will be listed. For quick references of what you actually have to do to accomplish that, you can just click on any of those levels, and that then is shown right below. It drops down and shows you all the things that you need to do and the criteria in which you need to deliver in order to do that specific challenge. All right. Now, when you really get ready to start on these challenges, you go up here to the big blue button and you click on the big blue button, that's hard to say, and it says Get Started. And so you click on that, and it's going to take you into this, which is the very first challenge. Over here on the left-hand side, it shows you the logo, it shows you the challenges. These are the 4 challenges that are there. You can do them in any order, unless some badges may say you have to do challenge 1 before you can do challenge 2. But in most cases, you can do it in any order that you want. All right, so this happens to be the very first challenge, which of the basic tool badge is about blogs. Blogs as reflective writing tools. That's one of the tools that we want you to know about. And then we have this introduction section that basically tells you what is a blog. Now, you may know all about blogs, and so you can skip this part. But in some cases, you don't know very much about it or whatever they're talking about, so you can kind of read that, and it'll give you a background. What are typical blogging tools? Well, there's one known as Blogger. Or you can get them in certain type of web development tools, which is known as Wix. And you can click on these links that are associated with that to go out there and to find out more about them. Or you can go to tutorials and to find out how exactly you would do that with Blogger to create a blog, okay? Or tutorials within Wix on how to add a blogging tutorial. Okay, so all of that is we try to add in within this introduction type of material, which is found at the first of each of the challenges. Specifically within every one of these challenges, you will run into this section that's known as instructions. And the instruction says these are step-by-step instructions for this challenge. These are the things that you have to do in order to show that you have competency within that challenge level and for it to be accepted. So then you just read through and you go through it, and we always try to list these on numbers. So it's a 1, 2, 3, and you just go through and do the things that are there. Now in this one, what we're asking you to do is actually create a blog and then create a blog post. So in other words, you're going to show that you can use a blog by actually using a blog. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so that's what you're going to do here. And so you post at least 2 to 3 paragraphs in a blog post. Well, then how are you going to show me that you have accomplished that? Well, we give you an assignment to write about. You write that, you create your blog, you write about it, and then you're going to come up with a link that's going to allow me, the grader, to go to your blog and see what you wrote. All right, and that you've actually created the blog. And that's what's this thing down here. It says, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to create this, and you're going to get a link to that exact place out on the internet, which takes me to your blog and shows me what you have written about this topic. All right, and that's what's required here, is that you're going to have to do it. So if you look down here, what's the criteria for successful completion? Well, you need to have a well-written 2 to 3 paragraph blog post. And the blog post includes a minimum of 1 to 2 related video website links, that was in the instructions up here. And the post should be of high quality with no spelling or grammatical errors. In other words, you're turning in professionally completed assignment. It looks really good on your blog area, and you've done that. And if you can do that, that shows us that you actually have accomplished this basic tool of being able to use a blog. Now the deliverable here is a link. It says that we expect you to turn in a link that will get us to that page. All right. Now, how do you turn in the thing? Well, once you've done all of this stuff and you're ready to begin this challenge, in other words, you've accomplished all of this, then you click on this bar and it takes you to this Blogs as Reflective Writing Tools. This number 1 challenge area, submission area. Okay, and it'll tell you right here, this will be a picture of you if you've included your picture, and it'll say your submission, whatever your name is. Okay, so you must include a link. In this case, the instructions said you've got to have a link, and so it'll tell you right here, you have to have a link. And that's what we're expecting you to do. And then you can also add other things, and here's some other optional things that are there. So it says again, a link is required. So when you come down and say, okay, I've got my blog link, you click on this thing and it'll take you out there and say, insert that one right there, and then you hit okay when you're done. All right, so you put in that link and you do that. All right, and then once you hit that okay, and you've got that, it'll list it up here, your link. You can also write a response in here. You can tell the grader, hey, I did this, but I forgot about this part, or would you pay special attention to this and tell me what you think about that? You can write that response right in this area, and it works really well. Okay, so whatever you're asked to do. In some cases, these challenges ask you to create a video, and so you would click on there and add your video link. All right. In some cases, it says write out a document and then attach the document, and that's where you would attach the document. And in many, many cases, it says we need you to respond, to explain, or whatever, and you can just write a response and post it right in here, and you can put that in there. And again, at any time, you can write as questions or that you have, or other things. And then once you're done, you click this submit button. You've added your link or whatever, then you click the submit button, and once you do that, it locks this page so that for blogs, this challenge, you can't submit anything else and you can't call it back. And what that does when you hit that submit button is that it locks it, sends it to the grader. The grader then gets notified through email that you've made a submission. And they go in and they can click on it, and it'll come up and say that, well, Tim has made this submission and he's got a link, and it'll explain to me exactly, or to the grader, exactly what it is that I'm supposed to be submitting. And then they'll look through that and they will make a decision on whether or not that has reached the level of criteria that we expect. And if it has, then they accept it. If it is not, or if there's other things they need to ask you about, they can send you feedback. They can reject it, but they say, would you please resubmit it after you consider this? And then there will be a list of feedback there. So it's all listed right there. One thing that I forgot to mention is as you start to prepare here, excuse me, it's instead of toggling back and forth between this page and the previous page, you can always open up the challenge instructions by just clicking on this. And then a page comes up and tells you, remember when it said that all those instructions? Well, there's the things you should do, and you can look down and say, okay, yeah, I forgot I got to add this, this, and this. Okay, I got that done. And then you can just click that off, and you can go right back to this page, and you can make your submission. Then you're done. So that's how you, and that's how this works for all of our badges. Not just the basic tool badge. But once you get done with this challenge, then you can go to the next challenge and the next one and the next one, or you can go in any order that you want and complete those challenges, submit them. The nice thing is it doesn't slow you down. So you've got all 4 of these to do. As soon as you hit submission here, yeah, this is the one's locked up, but while you're waiting for that person for this section to be graded, you can work on these other ones and get those taken care of. All right, so you can always continually work forward, or you can select another badge and work on that. And then once you get all this done, this section up in here that allows you, let's see if we can get all the way back to it. Yeah, back to this part where you can go into My Scorecard. You can click on that and it'll show you exactly how many of your, or where your badge submissions are and what all the challenges have been done. And once they're accepted, they check them off and say this has been accepted and you've already got this badge, et cetera, et cetera. And it's on your scorecard there. So that's how you work in this area. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and that you're very successful in the badge work that you're doing. And best of luck with the badges. Bye.